Good morning and welcome to Glow Focus on Glow 99.1 FM. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Ondo State. Good morning, Akure. Good morning to you, our esteemed listener, wherever you're listening to us from. This is your mid-morning conversation program where we take you through topical current issues happening in Nigeria. As we start this new day, we're focusing on a crisis that's been unfolding in our city, Akure, and of course, destitute and mentally challenged individuals are roaming our streets, struggling to survive and seeking compassion. My name is Comfort Omolafe. On behalf of my co-anchor,
my name is Mike Alim Obafemi. Many thanks for joining us this morning. It's Glow Focus, your mid-morning conversational program from Glow 99.1 FM, Ijapwe State, Akure. And of course, today again, we will address topical issues in focus after reading headlines and reviewing issues in the dailies. We have them in the Nigerian newspapers this morning just to keep you abreast of the latest random facts in history. Would refresh your mind as we make your morning much better. Welcome and many thanks for joining us.
Halim, recently, I found out that gone are the days where they say men are not supposed to make their hair. You're supposed to cut your hair while ladies, plait their hair. But these days, even taxi drivers, I wonder where our morals have gone to. If this morning on my way to work, I said taxi driver with dreads on. And, even some police officers keep their hair a bit, but they don't have the dreads. And the morals have just gone away. How did we get here?
Personally,
not to talk of children at home, young, under 20s, in their 20s.
Personally, I have a different opinion.
In fact, somebody.
I don't think we should. I don't think we should define morals by how somebody's hair looks.
It's part of it.
You know why?
You are dressed the way you dress.
Thank you.
And you need to have perceived something to see that as nothing.
Let me give you an example.
Yes.
There are persons who are bald. Due respect. There are persons who have, hair, somewhat a level on their hair, on their head. There are some, who basically, when you see them, you see that, this person is not hairy, right? Everybody has an element of evil in them, and if people are allowed, I think morals or whatever or anything that we're trying to prevent in society has to do with attitude, not really the look. Because I've had encounters with people who love a lot of jewelry. When they can go out, even talk to people at their sitting room with their pajamas, they would have jewelry on. And sometimes you tend to see them. When you get closer, you see that they are very down to earth. Because the way they look makes them look like, okay, this person might not really be a person who pays attention to a lot of details, or maybe they are lost in their mind, they are too fashion, oriented and all of that. But in the end, you get to know that, okay, it is within and not what you just see. But what I would say is this: whatever we are going to see as well should be decent. And what do we define as decent? Something that is not, confusing. Something that is not too much, something that does not oppress maybe the next person. So decency basically, starts with within how someone basically looks, how someone behaves. I think the behavioral pattern should be what we should focus on. But here's what we are going to say. What we're going to say is this: for example, in Yoruba land, persons who belong to the to the drama, persons who are dramatists, in their family line, they call them Oloje. They have a way of plaiting their hair. The regular, what do you call it? The
is it the adimole?
The adimole that you the air plating, the basic one that you do, right? They do it. It's just a symbol of.
Those are not the persons we are talking about, Halim. I think you're mixing it up. Of course, there are some.
You have other categories, right?
Yes, let's be realistic. Majority of young guys, young men, plaiting their hair these days. You cannot tell me.
What's wrong with plaiting your hair when you're a young person?
You are supposed to barb your hair.
You're supposed to
Yes, that's the way we were brought up. I mean, I cannot have a child. Whether in the next 20 years to come, whether in the next 30 years, no matter how wealthy you are, whether you're the president of any country, you must not plait your hair.
Do you know that the use of wig is un-African?
Well, of course it is.
Because people believe that if you're an African, you're already endowed with enough air, you can play it and do it.
There are some persons naturally, there are some guys naturally, there are some human beings naturally who came with dreads. They say God has naturally made them, that's the popular language, dreads. They came to the world with dreads. Their ears are locked. Those ones are exceptional. Not when the dreads are artificial. Majority of our young men these days have artificial dreads on their head. And you cannot tell me 80% of those men, you can't tell me they are decent. Alim, I beg to disagree.
Maybe that's another that's a topic for another day.
Yes,
basically, we'll look at it. We know that, in the public, those listening at home would definitely have one opinion or the other. When we get to that bridge, you can always make known your own side of the thing. But just like we're saying, decency is, modesty. Modesty is decency.
And you also address the way you dress.
Yes, of course. I know your address. Because, okay, now, for some even cross-dress,
Halim, you should have put on a skirt today and we'll just know it's still Halim or Halim has a good style. You should have worn a skirt and say, okay, it's still Halim, he still does his thing, and then tell me the perception people have about you.
It's not part of my culture,
no,
that's why.
Okay, that's part of it. See, you're mixing it up.
If I was from Swahili land or Somaliland, maybe I would wear a skirt.
Would have just said, Halim is a good guy, but he's on skirt. Okay, let's not look at it that he's wearing skirt. Regardless, he's a good person.
If I was from Scotland, I would,
but this is Nigeria, Halim.
And
if you're in the Roms, behave like the Romans. Yes, this is Nigeria. Behave like Africans.
Now, why? You know why? Because I'm dressed in Glow FM's vest. I'm publicizing Glow FM this morning. More than any person at the station this morning. So maybe that will get me a bonus. From the leadership.
Okay. All right, we'll move on to the next segment, but before then, we'll go on a short break. Now the program continues shortly. Please stay tuned.
To GF Glow Focus, your mid-morning conversational magazine show on 99.1 FM, Akure.
Alrighty, welcome back. It's still Glow Focus, your mid-morning conversation program. And as we start this day, I did tell you earlier that we are focusing on a crisis that's been unfolding in our city. Akure, destitute and mentally challenged individuals roaming our streets, struggling to survive and seeking compassion. Now, what's causing this situation and what can we do about it? We explore the circumstances that led to this issue, the challenges faced by these vulnerable individuals, and the effort being made to address it. Let's go take a listen to our report for today. Please stay tuned.
Destitute and mentally challenged individuals in the streets of Akure is becoming a source of concern for residents, with many calling for urgent government intervention. Observers say the situation not only raises humanitarian questions but also poses potential risk to public safety and environmental health. A registered nurse, Oluchi Ofegbu, identified the importance of mental health on daily living.
Mental health is a critical aspect of our daily living that affects how we think, how we act, how we feel, and how we interact with others. So mental health basically even impacts on every aspect of our life. So that's why it's important to take care and prioritize our mental health, because when you prioritize your mental health, it helps you to cope with daily stress levels, maintaining good relationship with people, and make you active when taking decisions.
Ofegbu offered her insight on how to maintain a perfect health state.
There are ways you can actually take care and prioritize your mental health. Number one amongst them is healthy sleeping pattern, knowing how to handle the stress management, because stress has a way of affecting the mental health. Either practicing the vigor maneuver, practicing exercises, heart diseases, monitoring everything, and also yoga exercises, treadmill exercises. All this as a way of reducing the stress hormones, reducing it down, like bringing it down, so that we are not stressed. Because once the stress hormone is high, it definitely affects the mental health. Then daily checks up.
A public affairs analyst, Adeniran Obembe, attributed the growing number of destitute and mentally challenged persons on the street to a combination of economic hardship, rising unemployment, family neglect, and weak social welfare systems, advising the government to engage in public sensitization which cuts across all levels.
It just seems as if it's a reflection of how degenerated the society has become. I think that government can also go on sensitization, because it's only by public sensitization, and probably again another major factor is drug abuse. It's a major contributory factor. So all of these issues are the things that government can make in the board by looking at what could be the causative factors for all of these things. How do we address them from the onset? Public sensitization. Parents should be carried along. Government can do a whole lot of radio news and all that, advising parents on how to manage their words and all that. Also, sensitization within the higher institution system. Also, bringing the religious institutions as well, the churches and mosques, to help out, to be able to reach out to the youths, to please desist from anything that has to do with ritual negativity. Again, access to drugs, banned drugs, energizing substances, all of these things damage the brain. And once the brain starts malfunctioning, it's very difficult. How many psychiatric hospitals we have in Nigeria that can take care of mental issues? So the supply of drugs to the market space, to the public, should also be cut off.
Also speaking, another analyst, Sam Bello, called for a coordinated response involving government agencies, non-governmental organizations, and community leaders to provide shelter, treatment, and reintegration of those affected.
According to the Mental Health Acts of 2021, it provided a framework for both the NGOs and the government agencies to tackle the challenges and find a way of implementing it together. So let me just state that the role of the government agencies in tackling mental health issues in Nigeria would require them to do, I think, about 3 to 4 things. And one, I think they would provide policy and regulations, they would provide infrastructure and buildings, legal protection, I think specialized care and treatment, then primary care. Then for the NGOs would do more of mental rehabilitation, mental health awareness, crisis counseling and support, then advocacy. Communities also can help identify people who have traces of such, and they can help to rehabilitate them.
Residents have also urged authorities to act swiftly, calling for the establishment of rehabilitation centers and stricter monitoring to prevent further escalation of the situation. Ayodamopo Ogunrinde, reporting for Glow FM.
right, you're welcome back from that report. We'll talk more about it later on the program. And of course, we now move to the issues that we've seen in the dailies this morning to keep you abreast of the latest across news tabloids. Let's start from Ondo State, where Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa at the Punch newspaper is predicting victory for President Bola Tinubu in 36 states of the Federation ahead of 2027 general elections. Let's look at the story. The Ondo State Governor, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, has declared that President Bola Tinubu will win the 2027 presidential election in all 36 states of the Federation. The governor said if this happens, it would be an unprecedented in the political history of Nigeria, as no presidential candidate has ever won all 36 states. Aiyedatiwa stated these are the inauguration of Swagger 2.0, organized by Pro-Tinubu political group, the Southwest Agenda for Ashiwaju in Akure, the Ondo State capital. The group is headed by a chairman of the Nigerian Port Authority, Senator Dayo Adeyeye. Let's move to other stories from the Punch newspaper as well. Okay. In the Guardian, in the Nation newspaper, rather, INEC redeploys Osun Rec amid petition of partisanship. Independent National Electoral Commission INEC has redeployed its resident electoral commissioner Rec in Osun State, Dr. Mutiu Agboke. The redeployment came amid petition to the electoral umpire's chairman, Professor Joash Amukwito, over alleged partisanship. The Nation reports that the All Progressive Congress APC and the New Nigeria People's Party NNPP demanded for Agboke's redeployment ahead of 2026 Osun gubernatorial election. You can check for more in the Nation newspaper. And in the Punch newspaper, still, federal government wants a possible flooding in 10 states. To the body of the story, the federal government has warned that several locations across 10 states may experience heavy rainfall, potentially leading to flooding between April 8 to April 12, 2026. The warning was issued by the National Flood Early Warning Center of the Federal Ministry of Environment in a flood prediction notice dated 8 of April 2026. That was yesterday, and signed by Director of the Russian Flood and Coastal Zone Management Department, Usman Bokani. According to the ministry, communities in Ebonyi, Anambra, Ogun, Taraba, Cross River, Benue, Imo, Delta, Rivers, and Abia states are among the areas likely to witness heavy rainfall that may trigger flooding during this set period. Let's look at another story in the Nation newspaper. ADC National Convention under threat. The National Convention of the African Democratic Congress ADC is under threat following the cloud of uncertainty hovering over the states' congresses. The congresses that should herald the convention were yesterday put on hold in many states across the Federation. The affected states are Ondo, Anambra, Sokoto, Bayelsa, where rival camps within the opposition parties are at loggerheads. The ADC has been enveloped in tension after the withdrawal of recognition of its interim national chairman, Senator David Mark, and National Secretary Rauf Aregbesola by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Also from the Punch newspaper this morning, Bauchi APC splits over Gov's defection move. The Bauchi State chapter of the All Progressive Congress APC sharply divided over plans to admit Governor Bala Mohammed into the party, exposing faults lying within its ranks ahead of possible realignment in the state. The disagreement came to the fore at a caucus meeting held in Abuja on Wednesday, where party leaders expressed contrasting views on the political and structural consequences of the governor's proposed defection. You can check for more in the Punch newspaper. All right, before we talk about a few of these stories and take some others, in the Daily Post newspaper there is this story: pensioners threaten legal action against the Southwest governors over backlog of gratuities. Pensioners in Southwest on Wednesday threatened to sue some governors in the region over non-payment of gratuities and other benefits. They revealed that governors still owe majority of their members gratuities for 15 years, dating back to the year 2011. The Southwest PRO, Public Relations Officer of the Nigerian Union of Pensioners, Olusegun Abatan, disclosed this on Wednesday while briefing journalists during the union's quarterly meeting hosted in Abeokuta, the Ogun State branch of the association. They equally added that the Southwest pensioners have decried hardship and demand unpaid gratuities. That's a scene in another paper, Punch newspaper. We now have with us Akure Bodunde, who is a media executive and a social commentator, to look at some of these stories with us. Comfort, let's start with the one in Ondo State. Aidatiwa is saying and boasting that President Bola Tinubu would win 36 states of the Federation.
I don't see that as being boastful. I see it as being realistic based on status quo with the situation of things in Nigeria at the moment in the political space. We already know that APC has taken over. Except
nobody in a recent election has won 36 states.
But let's see. I mean, it's already glaring because all the political parties that are supposed to be opponents are shaky. Their foundations are shaking already. I am on the side of on this one with the way things are and things have been over time recently. I don't see him as being boastful. I think he's been realistic. Except other political parties, try to adjust their houses, put their houses in order. Then we can now say, okay, because as it is now, he's not boastful. He's just been realistic.
Let me pick your opinion again about this story before I go to Akure Bodunde. INEC has redeployed Osun Rec amid petition of partisanship.
Of course.
It almost happened in Ondo State as well.
Recently, of course. Election. The redeployment is coming amid, petitions to the electoral umpire's chairman, Joash Amikpito, over the alleged partisanship rather. And of course, newsmen have reported that the APC and the NNPP are demanding for Agboke's redeployment. So it's not just him doing that overnight, Agboke's redeployment ahead of the 2026 Osun governorship election. This is based on things that have been happening. They just feel that some are sabotage of effort of some political parties, and they feel that if we have this particular person here, we might not have our way. But then INEC needs to just under the leadership of
Joash. Be the INEC.
Hold on. Yeah. Under the leadership of INEC chairman Joash Amikpito, I just feel that you need to sit back. Of course, you have persons who will come to you. This is what is happening. Sit back and study the trend over the years. What are these people driving at? Why do we keep having this occurring during election period? Before he makes his decision, before giving them a go ahead. Otherwise, we keep having redeployment. And I think that this, I am sensing political undertone in all of this.
All right, federal government is warning of possible flooding in 10 states. Ondo State was not captured in that. I guess that's coming on the back of what we addressed yesterday.
Yes.
We're looking at environmental issues yesterday, and even though we're not captured in the state being warned, maybe our people will, take precaution and not throw things on the water way in the drains as well.
See, I am glad that we had a chairman, Yinka Alabi, spoke to us yesterday on the issue, and for the fact that Ondo State is not mentioned among the possible flooding states in Nigeria at the moment, I think it's a good one. Thumbs up to the Ministry of Environment and those in charge, the chairman of waste management, but they are doing their jobs because before now, a couple of years ago, anytime you hear flooding state, featuring having probability that there are some states that will be flooded, Ondo State will be part of them. And now that we do not have Ondo State part of them, means that our Minister of Environment are doing well. So that's thumbs up. But then it doesn't mean that they should sit back. They should do more. It's a call to action more. Do more so that, Ondo State can be that state where we'll be at the enviable height amongst other states. We are doing fine. Yes, we are not where we used to be. And it shows that particular sector is working. And this is another call to other states. They should do the needful to we can have a reduction of state. We can get better. I believe in Nigeria. We'll get there.
All right, let's go to Akure Bodunde. I don't know, we'll start with this story as well. The Ondo State Governor, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, is predicting that the current president, President Bola Tinubu, would win in 36 states, which seem, not so realistic because in recent time, we've not really seen a presidential candidate win across all the states. You win some and you leave some to your opponents. And the ABC this morning, Sunday Diary, and a person in the administration of President Bola Tinubu is out to say that the government of the country currently is not preparing to have just the APC on the ballot.
All right, thank you for having me. There's a lot of things you have said already, but even before I address what Dr. Lucky Aiyedatiwa was said about the 2027 election, let me make my contribution to the first conversation both of you had about dreads and the way people dress.
Okay.
Well, in traditional Africa, there are some things that are given. People expect you to dress a certain way. People expect you to behave a certain way. But don't forget that the world is now a global village and people have access to different other cultures, diverse information, and all of that. And there's really no way you can prevent infiltration of cultures. Let me give you an example. Now, in the United States of America, the Yoruba culture of dressing is beginning to gain root. So also in Africa, the culture of dreads, of earrings by men, of tattoos that are visible, and all of that have infiltrated our culture. So I think it's a cultural infiltration problem.
Our grandmothers used to have tattoos as well on their legs. They call it
no.
The
thing is, you mentioned something. You see, for me, perception is everything. Even if you have tattoos on your body, there's a kind of tattoo you put on your body that will
look fine.
Will not necessarily even fine, but will not give ugly impressions about your personality. For instance, if you draw certain things on your body, I don't want to be specific now,
yes,
so that nobody thinks.
If you draw a sharp object on your body,
it gives a very negative impression. If you draw a dagger on your body, so the thing is, we must. But for me, I'll just advise that everyone should guard his heart. That's the important thing. Cultural infiltration is the order of the day, and so but the important thing is guard your heart. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, a woman who is in her 50s, about 3 days ago, and she was telling me how her son convinced her to let him do tattoo on his body. She said initially she was very angry about the tattoo, but the young man was able to convince her, one, because his attitude to life does not show that he's a bad boy.
Okay.
He goes to work regularly. He doesn't womanize. He doesn't do this. He
doesn't drink.
He doesn't drink. He doesn't,
No social vices.
No social vices. Just the tattoo, and he reads. In fact, she was telling me that even when his father said he should do holiday in the UK last summer, the guy said, "No, mommy, no. Give me the 2.5 million. I want to add it to my business." So you see the thing.
That direction.
So it's a mixed bag, but I just want to advise everyone: please guide your heart, and parents, be on the lookout, because there is a flip side to it. There's something called trends and patterns. There are some trends and patterns that direct you in a specific. When you see something like that, you are likely to have a feeling that this guy is likely to be a bad boy, or this girl is likely to be a bad girl. You can't explain to me, even though there's cultural infiltration, you can't explain to me things like ladies dressing half nude. You can't explain it to me. You can't justify it
showing flesh unnecessarily.
Exactly. You can't justify it by cultural infiltration. Anyway, like you said, this will be a conversation for another day. So let's go to the talking points in the papers. Okay, you already asked me a question about Dr. Lucky Aiyedatiwa's impression. Look, let me tell you something, Halim. Yes, it's never happened that the president would
sweep the nation.
Would win in all the states. It has never happened in Nigeria. But Something like that happened in Ondo State in the last election. The governor of Ondo State, Dr. Lucky Aiyedatiwa, won in the 18 local
18-0 tag.
18-0 tag.
Yes.
So, that is where I guess his optimism is stemming from. That's number one. Number two, every politician is an incurable optimist. Even when a politician knows he won't win, he will tell you he will win. He will tell you, I've been assured. That doesn't mean that the president will not win in 36 states. Because, let's also be frank, there's a word that is in the public space now. APC has captured the entire nation, has captured the 36 states. 32 governors are governors of the APC. And when you're a governor, you hold your state firm. Because that's the only justification that you're a good representative of your party in the state. And every governor wants to be in the good books of the president. So it's likely that, okay, let's say 36, for instance. Okay. Then don't forget,
They all deliver.
no, 32, sorry.
32
states controlled by the APC. Let's say those ones are already in the bag. That's the assumption of the APC. Then the remaining 4, there are political bigwigs in those states. Don't forget that every state has a minister.
Of course.
Every state has political appointees and all of that. So those people will also like to retain their jobs,
By making sure that the ruling party is grounded.
By winning for the APC in their state. So it's okay for the governor of Ondo State to be optimistic. There's nothing wrong in that, and but the whole,
there's reality as well.
Well, when you look at the things I've said, it may be tilting towards the reality. But let's see. But you see, politics is funny. Nobody ever thought that Muhammadu Buhari would defeat Goodluck Ebele Jonathan in that election, 2015 election. Nobody ever thought so. But it happened. So anything can happen. Let's wait till 2027 and see what happens. Let's see how many states Lagbaja wins. For instance, let me add this. In the last election, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, even though he was contesting to be president, lost Lagos.
Yes.
He has never lost Lagos. The APC, his party has always won Lagos.
But when that was part of reality I was talking about.
But when it was his turn to ask for the people's vote, he lost. So politics is funny. It's just there are a lot of dynamics attached to politics. So let's wait till 2027 and see the way the people will.
All right, maybe that's why the APC, ADC, are stepping up raid on the PDP to make sure that they keep hold of their strong, sides. Let's look at this particular story. Independent, the INEC has redeployed Osun Rec amid petition of partisanship. 2 major parties, reported the REC, the All Progressive Congress APC, which is ruling party, and the New Nigeria People's Party in Osun, reported Dr. Mutiu Agboke, and now he's been redeployed.
Well, for that, politics is also funny.
Parties having their ways.
No. One of the things you do in politics is to attack first. You create an impression in politics. That's the look. Let me tell you something. Politics is a very interesting game. Your job as a politician, as a strategist in politics, is to attack first. You create an impression that your opponent is being fraudulent, even if you are the one who is fraudulent. Now, the problem I have with INEC on this matter is that over the years there have been allegations of resident electoral commissioners being partisan, but they never get investigated. We never get reports of whether it's true, because I can wake up one morning and say, you Comfort, you are fraudulent. I can wake up and say so. That doesn't make you fraudulent. It just means that I have a motive to call you fraudulent. So the job of the body, INEC this time, is to investigate whether Agboke is actually partisan. And if he is partisan, there must be disciplinary measures, and the public should be made to realize that indeed this man is partisan. You understand what I'm saying? Having said that, it was the APC that reported Agboke, and I don't have a problem with INEC redeploying Agboke. But I want INEC to do same when other parties report resident electoral commissioners. That's the truth. You see, it would be unfortunate If in another state, a political party is now reporting the resident electoral commissioner and nothing is done. So
don't you think INEC has done their investigation before doing this?
No. You see, let me tell you something. You don't.
Won't it become a trend as well that parties will start, reporting?
So I report.
So because a political party is reporting a wreck, and you are redeploying that wreck based on that, don't you think they would have done their investigations before?
When did APC report Akure?
Recently,
it's based on what is in the papers, APC and NNPP.
You see, that's the point. INEC cannot report based on the newspapers. Cannot redeploy, rather, based on the newspapers. Look, let me tell you the truth. Politics is interesting. And my view is that INEC should place a structure, a process that allows it actually come clean on things like this. Because redeploying Akure is not enough. What we need to see is that Akure is punished. Redeploying him is not punishment. In fact, he could go to a juicier state if he's corrupt.
To Ondo State, they brought him to Ondo State. He's been
redeployed. I don't want to mention any state.
Okay.
But the point I'm making is this. Look, if you redeploy a resident electoral commissioner, what was the big deal? If INEC actually investigated and found that he's partisan, he should be fired.
He will not be redeployed to another state.
Don't get it twisted.
Okay.
And INEC has a responsibility to show us, the public, that he was actually partisan. Look, partisanship as a resident electoral commissioner is corruption. There's no other word for it. So if you are given a job as resident electoral commissioner and you are found to be corrupt, because if you are corrupt as a rec, it means you're going to sabotage the election. That is criminal. So the thing is a lot. The more INEC must make us see that it has fired Akure, and these are the reasons he must put in the public space why he fired Akure. Because it is not a hidden thing. It's not an administrative process that made him. It was complaint by political parties in Osun State, and INEC should also do this if it finds other political parties reporting resident electoral commissioners and it investigates them and finds that they are actually partisan. It must remove, it must punish such resident electoral commissioners.
All right, before we look at
INEC must be fair in all things.
All right, before we look at the flooding story, which Comfort is reminding us that we have to celebrate for not being on a list of, states to be affected. Let's look at this story. The ADC National Convention is actually under threat. And, that's because the INEC has stopped recognizing the leadership of their party, and INEC is actually giving a directive, and it has affected states congresses that was supposed to be held in Ondo, Anambra, Sokoto, Bayelsa, where rival camps within the opposition party are at loggerheads. As if that is not enough, the ADC are out with a list of 6 demands to the INEC because they protested yesterday, organized a rally against the Electoral Commission, and they were saying, don't kill democracy. Peter Obi, Amechi and others rejected one party. And they've set out the demands. They are asking for transparency. They are saying they are going to court. We interviewed the ADC media person in Osun State yesterday, Oluwaseun Abosede, and he was very, very confident that they would be seen on the ballot very soon because they are in court. They are looking at these matters. How do you put all of these things together? Congresses have not been held, and of course, a convention cannot go on without the congresses, being done. And now ADC have 6 things that they are demanding from the INEC.
Look, I really pity ADC. ADC is in a very big mess. I'm not going to say this is the person who is responsible for that problem or that person. But the thing is, ADC needs to act fast. Because the reality is this. If INEC does not supervise your Congress, it is a failure. If it does not supervise your convention, it is null and void. The Electoral Act is clear about that. So it needs to get this court matter done quickly. Secondly, I also saw on television that the chairman of the 36 states of ADC have, appointed a caretaker committee. And that tells you that the crisis is deepening every day. But I'm sure that if the courts are fair and understand the urgency of dealing with ADC's petition, ADC's case, then it will help the political party to rise above its challenges. But until then, there's really not much you can say. Don't let's jump the gun. Let's wait for the courts to deal with the matter, since the matter is in court actually.
All right.
I advise that ADC should be fast in getting this done.
All right. I've taken this story earlier. Would like to have your reaction towards it. The pensioners in the Southwest have threatened legal action against Southwest governors over backlog of gratuities. They even say that it's dating back to 2011. The PRO spoke. Olusegun Abaton disclosed that on Wednesday, while briefing journalists, that some of their members are still being owed that long.
Okay, so it's a shame that Nigeria is a nation that has a culture of treating its elder statesmen with ignominy, impunity. We have not risen above that parochial attitude to the men and women who have contributed their entire life, who donated, let me put it that way, their entire work life to serving the state and the society, actually, either as state workers or federal workers. I pray that the governors, luckily the governors have more money now
than before.
And I know that this kind of outcry would prompt some governors. I know that a few weeks back, maybe a week or two ago, the governor of Ondo State, I heard, tried to pay some parts of old gratuities. I hope that governors of other states will also do same. But the thing is this: we must remove from our culture the attitude of, and I would like to use this word advisedly, punishing the men and women who had contributed their entire, most of them can do nothing after 60. After 60, look, you are almost very useless to yourself. So the only thing you rely on will be your gratuity and pension. So if the government is then owing you that, how is the government expecting you to meet your medical bills? Because at that age, there will be added ailments, that come with age and all things like that, feeding yourself. And in a nation where children go to school, graduate, and are not employed, many parents who are even very old still have to take care of their children who are graduates because of lack of job and things like that. So we must look at all of these things and know that it's just fair to treat all these men and women who had served the country and the state so hard, and so diligently. We must treat them well all the time.
And I also want to add that just the two governors among those, the Southwest governors that are owing, two governors are doing just too well, very well. Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa of Ondo State and Engineer Seyi Makinde of Ondo State. Those two are the ones who have done well. But however...
Comfort.
Yes.
Look. There's no governor that is doing well. You have no right.
It's a statutory thing to do.
Gratuity. So don't say any governor is doing, except you are telling me that the governor of
is doing extra.
Osun and Ondo and Oyo have cleared all their gratuities and pensions.
But they are far better than other state governors.
No. There's nothing. Look. Let's stop.
Glorifying
Look, what was that? I look forward to a time when the governors, all of them, would not be owing gratuities and pensions. And I know that all of them inherited these things. But the only time you can give them full thumbs up, is when they clear all the gratuities. And we can only continue to encourage them.
Okay.
We know that some of them are trying. Some of them are doing better than others. But we look forward to... Okay, let me ask you a question. I
also want to ask you.
No. Okay, you can ask me when
you're done. Okay.
Now, the governor, let's say your uncle or aunt or parent is amongst those that are not yet paid. Will you be happy?
And they are feeding off you.
The fact that some have been paid, good. We acknowledge that. We appreciate that. But let's be frank. Until all of them are paid, we cannot give any governor thumbs up. That's the truth.
Thank you very much. I also want to ask you, do you think that the state has that money to pay?
No. You see, let me tell you something. That's why I said we are not asking that do it all at once. Okay. But be consistent.
Be doing it.
Be consistent. And luckily, the president always says something when people complain. He says,
hold your governors.
Hold your governors. The governors don't know the weight of that statement.
It indicts them.
It is a total indictment on their capacity to govern their states. So it means that the president, even though it's even ugly for the president to say that. Why? Because if we were running a truly federal state, the president doesn't even have to deal with that to say that. The reality is that every governor will now have to carry his or her can. But the governors can tell you that the money that the federal government is giving us is not enough. So how do you deal with that? So it's neither here nor there. But the thing is this. Every governor must understand that payment of gratuity and pension is top priority. Because if these men and women did not give all of their life to serving the state may not be where it is today.
All right, let's look at, let me quickly run with some other stories, and we have one or two reactions again, Comfort and Akiumi Abodunde, before we open the lines to our people at home. Quickly, let me look at this issue this morning, and of course, there has been an attack, terror.
Before the terror attack,
yes.
We were talking about flooding.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Oh, good. Thank you for that reminder. The flooding, 10 states, but we are thanking God that we're not.
No. You see. Let me tell you something. You took it a little out of context. What the federal government or what the agencies responsible for flooding control,
management, and all that
were saying is this: the data from NIMET shows that Ondo State will not have a lot of rainfall. It's not that the attitude to environmental issues will not, cause flooding. There's flooding in Ondo State now. What do you mean by that?
Recent rains.
I was out a few days ago, I think sometime last week. There was terrible flooding in this town. Why? Because the drains are filled with debris. So and I'm glad that your program treated this 2 days ago. I listened. And I was very, very glad. The truth is this: the government and its agencies, the Waste Management Authority, the Ministry of Environment, and the
Works.
No, and the Ministry of Works need to deal with these issues. The issue of filled drains. Look, let me tell you the consequence. Let's even leave what flooding is. The massive devastation it can destroy lives, destroy livelihoods, destroy buildings, destroy property, and all of that. But in addition, when government constructs a good road and it is flooded continuously, the flooding destroys the road. So it is just taxpayers' money going down the drain. So the thing is that government and its agencies must make sure that these drains are desilted. That's what they should do. And there must be punishment for people after ensuring that the drains all around the state are desilted. There must be punishment for people whose the drains in front of your house. For instance, if the drains in your house are filled, you must be sanctioned. That's the truth of the matter. That's the way to ensure that people have common sense and do the right thing. Because don't forget, the nation has not forgotten the Ogunpa flooding in Ibadan. If you know what that flooding did to the livelihoods and lives in that city, in Ibadan, in that year. The people, the victims will never forget. So it's important that government deals with this issue head on and we move on from there.
All right, let's look at some other stories before we wrap up this segment. Earlier, I was about to read a security story which reads, terrorists kill 22 in Niger Plateau and scores in Kebbi. That's, attacks are happening again. And recent attack came as a surprise. Governor Mufwang of Plateau is saying that the attack actually came as a surprise. Are you also surprised?
I told you that Governor Mufwang is not serious on Monday. I said so.
Yes,
it's
you
not
mentioned.
serious. it's not serious. So I listened to one caller saying that I was being too hard on Mufwang. Shut up. Look, let me tell you the truth. Some of our governors are not serious about this insecurity matter. If you cannot, the Constitution of Nigeria provides that every governor or president, the first responsibility is protection of life and property. If you cannot do it, you get out of the place. If you cannot do it, get out of the place, I insist.
No need to contest.
There's no contest. We're not even saying contest. Resign from your tab. Look, it makes no... Now, just the attacks are now becoming almost on a daily basis. 22 killed, 50 killed, 90 killed, as if they are animals.
Do we have the manpower to police, the state's perimeters across the federation?
Don't we?
Some have said that we are, we have a shortage of personnel. Earlier this year, the president, asked agencies, security agencies, to recruit more people. And we saw number 50,000.
Wait, Mike. For how long have people been shouting, state police, give us state police? You are saying we don't have. Who said we don't have? Look, everybody is playing the ostrich. We are pretending about this issue. There's no way that these forests in any state can be policed effectively by people who don't know the terrain. You can't bring someone from Adamawa now to Ondo State and tell the person to police Ondo State. Kiboloma.
The locals must survey their area.
The locals, look, now there's a bill sent. The president gave the IG, the present IG, this a marching order to activate the process of sending a bill to the National Assembly for state policing. I hope that the National Assembly will be serious enough to actually deal with it. Why? Because the National Assembly as constituted today does not deal with serious issues. Ever in the last 2.5 years, the National Assembly has been dealing with asides.
Are you saying they are rubber stamp National Assembly?
Not necessarily rubber stamp. They are just not serious. I don't see serious private member bills, for instance. I don't see most of the bills handled by the National Assembly are executive bills sent by the presidency. What kind of National Assembly is that? Most of the National Assembly members just go there and do nothing. Some of them they hardly contribute anything on the floor of the house. The only time they are happy is that when they are giving juicy committees. Look, let's be frank. I hope that the National Assembly will be quick in dealing with the issue of the bill sent by the IG, because I'm aware I learned he has sent a bill to the National Assembly for state policing. But I hope the National Assembly, don't also forget, politics has gotten to the height now, and this is the period when people in government
joke with many things.
When people in government have no time for governance anymore. All they are thinking is winning the election. Most of the National Assembly members no longer go to Abuja. I can tell you that. Watch your television when they're showing their reports of
Mr. Avodide, maybe that's why it's out now that crisis has hit the APC as new factional chairman, has emerged, and fresh leadership crisis erupted in the All Progressive Congress following the emergence of a new factional leader, a political commentator and activist, Al-Aja Afsatu Danladi. Danladi, who declared herself chairperson. Do you think?
There's one funny thing we say in journalism. If you tackle me, I double you. So let's leave it. Let's allow them to continue to play the game. It's a game, I know.
Okay, it's a game, right?
It's a game. In my view, it's a game. Let's allow them to continue.
All right, I guess we'll pick a few calls from home before we flip the page to another aspect of the program. You're listening to Glow Focus, your mid-morning conversational program. We're still very much in the issues that we have seen in the dailies this morning. You can call studio lines 0805 551 1110
or 070667718222. Remember, we're live on Facebook at Glow 99.1 FM Akure. You may also listen to us live on Radio Garden or download the Glow FM app on Google Play Store.
While we wait for the call, Mr. Akure,
we have a caller already. Just
right.
Before we move on to our analyst. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Please.
What's your name?
Godwin from Akure.
Godwin, okay.
Yeah, I want to react to the issue of insecurity.
Go ahead.
I think I like the part where your analyst it says that or insinuates that some of these governors supposed to be children, the people of their respective are not serious with insecurity. It's very right. And again, it's not until we have the insecurity is localized before insecurity to be effectively dealt with. That action is not true. Man from Adamawa can effectively police on those states if there is political on the part of the politician. If given all the tools he can do so.
Please, you may need to call us back. We can hardly hear you. Studio lines are still very much open. 0805 551 1110. Those are the lines to call.
Or 070667718222.
Surprisingly, some youths are asking former President Goodluck Jonathan to contest again. And they're saying
they should not get this man into trouble. It's not necessary. Look,
the law has been clear.
Well. He is really very well. What is with the global mission? Leave Jonathan alone and don't drag him into.
Because we have a law now mandating that nobody can exceed being sworn in twice, even if you win an election. So why contest?
Don't worry, I know President Goodluck Jonathan is smarter than
he has always played it down every now and then and all of that. Let's hope that of course that will happen. And of course Senate President Godswill Akpabio, governors have actually unveiled the Lagos mega project. The president couldn't go; he had to turn back, but some landmark projects, were inaugurated. Ojota Okpebi Link Bridge would ease traffic congestion on the Ikeja Maryland Ojota corridor, and the 5-story Lagos State Geographic Information Service building. And also the Lagos Multi-Agency Administrative Complex, both located in Alausa in Lagos. Landmark projects in Lagos. It's been a while we heard about projects in Lagos.
Well, no, not really. I think that Lagos is a very good example of what Nigeria should be. I've followed Lagos very well. And let me commend Babajide Sanwo-Olu, His Excellency, for the bridge. If you understand Lagos very well, you won't like that axis, So, but of course, I'm yet to drive on it. I hope that very soon I'll be in Lagos and see what difference that structure would make. But one thing I see in Lagos is that the local government chairmen are doing very well. Very, very well. So there is a limit to what
the governor has to do.
The chairmen of local government are building schools, fantastic hospitals, equipping them and all.
We have a caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Your name and where you are calling from?
Yes, Okeke from Cathedral. Everybody call me Mazu Okeke.
Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. There is something I want to comment. So, this discussion, there is one that even making me to feel very, very angry. Number one, I heard when you are talking about our youth who are mentally
derailed. Mentally derailed, yes.
Yes, because you said this before the show, before you started the show, at the first initial time. My brother and my sister there, let me tell you, something is happening in this country now. Our youth, they are engaging themselves in illicit drugs. Come to Cathedral here, you will see hundreds of people, youth, especially the youth. What is the problem? Government should go and they ban these illicit drugs. Kolo, Tramadol, all this rubbish they are taking. After taking all these things, the head will turn off. They will start mad. Everywhere here, and in Cathedral now, I can speak to you. Our security agents know where they are selling all these things. They will go there. Instead of arresting them and go and take them to court, let them go and serve jail there. They will go and be taking bribes from them. Imagine. After arresting them, they will pay like 500,000 naira.
Are you alleging that the policemen are extort? Okay, go ahead.
Yes. They are extorting money from all these dealers. They have to ban all these things totally. We don't like all this kind of things. Illicit drug is the main thing.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You've made your point, and we hope that this would be addressed by relevant agencies. He's just so concerned, about this trend, and it's good that we're addressing something very close to that, because this that you have said now could be one of the causes of the issue we want to discuss right after this break. So please stay with us, and let's have your opinion also on that matter.
I would have really loved to talk about something just before we flip on to the next segment of the program on, saying, you did say earlier that Lagos State, they are doing so well in terms of road construction, bridges and all that. And then I begin to wonder if we have local government chairman in Ondo State. Our analysts did say that the local government chairman in Lagos are doing so well, so they're giving the governor less headache. In Ondo State here, I begin to wonder where the chairman of the 18 local governments are. If you go to areas like Ijoka area, Iloti, deplorable road conditions there. Even in Oda Road, are you community?
In what road?
It's nothing. Welly, all those areas, some areas of Kajola, you only see them do good roads. And I begin to, I've asked this question before when I came into Akure newly, that do they really have local government chairman? What are they doing?
Let me tell you something. And I challenge the media. You see, it's not the fault of politicians alone. The media also has a very huge responsibility.
You mean we're not amplifying that?
We are not asking the right questions. You cannot sit here and blame local government chairman. Local government chairmen are simply politicians. Politicians have very many reasons why they seek office. But as the fourth state of the realm, the media must probe into all of this. Why are local governments not actually delivering value to the people? So I throw that challenge back to you. Look, Comfort, you're head of news and current affairs in your station. I challenge you to deal with these issues. Ask the hard questions. Ask people. Send your reporters out. Let them ask why. Why the media, why local government chairmen seem not to be doing well. They may have their reasons.
Unlike Osun State, where the governor has been or has had to, take partial responsibilities of the local government chairman because their accounts, were frozen, they couldn't work and all of that. We've seen structures.
Okay. Mike, that is a very different situation. Now, if the accounts of local governments are frozen, unfortunately, you don't expect a council boss to spend his private money to actually do things for the state. No, that's not allowed. But for those who have their resources with them, there is no reason why they should not perform.
So where the money is going?
At times, when I look at the projects, of course, I know that Lagos is a blessed state in terms of internally generated
revenue. It's a middle ground for everybody.
As a matter of fact, from the last information I had about the IGR in Lagos makes between 55 and 60 billion naira every month as IGR. So there's a lot of money to spend. But the question is, I'm not asking that local government chairmen in other states should do as much as Lagos State local government, but let's see your impact. That's the important thing. But there may be some reasons why the council bosses are not doing enough. I think the media needs to ask the very, very hard questions.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
I think, we've actually taken so many stories this morning. We'll look at them. And of course, you can always react to any of those stories, that we've read and the issues we've seen this morning. And we're going to another aspect now on the Glow Focus, where we're going to be taking on resource persons who are our guests, and we're looking at a topical issue that may interest you this morning. But please do something for us. Leave us comments on Facebook in case you'd like to react to anything that we've done on the program today. We're still live on GLOW 99.1 FM Akure, GLO 99.1 FM Akure. Call any of our studio lines 0805 551 1110.
Or 070667718222. We're gonna short break now. When we return, we'll ask hard questions on what is causing the situation that we're looking at today, the mentally challenged persons roaming around our streets, and what can we do about it. We explore the circumstances that led to the issue, the challenges faced by these vulnerable individuals, and effort being made to address it. These are the things we'll be looking at today. And of course, we have guests who will be joining us on the program. Please stay tuned as we shed light on this present concern and explore ways to make a difference in the lives of those who need it most.
This is Random Facts.
The shortest war in history lasted just 38 to 45 minutes between Britain and Zanzibar. Youth populations in Africa are projected to double by 2050, shaping global labor markets. Brain uses about 20% of your body's total energy, despite being small.
This is Random Facts.
The shortest war in history lasted just 38 to 45 minutes between Britain and Zanzibar. Youth populations in Africa are projected to double by 2050, shaping global labor markets. Brain uses about 20% of your body's total energy, despite being small.
You're on to GF. Glow Focus, your mid-morning conversational magazine show on 99.1 FM, Akure. Rise to the peak of your morning with Glow Focus on 99.1 FM.
Destitute and mentally
Akure.
challenged individuals in the streets of Akure is becoming a source of concern.
You're on to GF. Glow Focus, your mid-morning conversational magazine show on 99.1 FM, Akure. Rise to the peak of your morning with Glow Focus on 99.1
This
FM.
is Random Facts.
The shortest war in history lasted just 38 to 45 minutes between Britain and Zanzibar. Youth populations in Africa are projected to double by 2050, shaping global labor markets. Brain uses about 20% of your body's total energy, despite being small.
You're on to GF. Glow Focus, your mid-morning conversational magazine show on 99.1 FM, Akure. Rise to the peak of your morning with Glow Focus on 99.1
Destitute
FM.
and mentally
Akure.
challenged individuals in the streets of Akure is becoming a source of concern for us.
You're welcome back. This is still your mid-morning conversation program, Glow Focus on Glow 99.1 FM, Ijopo State, Akure. You're on to the second segment where we get to have our analysts that help us dissect some of the issues that we've talked about today. Basically, the topic of discourse, mental health, and it's a pleasure having Dr. Sunday Sajo. He's the consultant at Neuropsychiatric Hospital. Yes, CMD's consultant, Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Akure. Glad to have you on the program this morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right, of course, we also have Mrs. Mary Abiodun, a neuropathic doctor. Thank you so much for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you, ma. Good morning, ma. Thanks for having me.
All right, so very quickly, we've seen lots of mentally challenged person roaming around, the streets of Akure, and it has called so many questions for answers, and we need you to come answer those questions. Of course, there have been so many questions that have been begging for answers, and we have them readily available for you. Are a Trado person, yes, and of course, he is coming from the scientific part. You're coming from the other part. So now, let me quickly ask you this question very quickly. Just as we have them, what are the common mental illness? I need to ask Dr. Sajo this because we have lots of them on the street. Somebody mentioned, a caller mentioned people from Cathedral. If you go to Cathedral, you see lots of them on Cathedral. Even there is Matador side. And around SO, there's a particular junction before SO. I've forgotten the name of the street now. If you walk down that street, you see some of them too on that street, just staying in a corner. You see a male, you see a female in that corner. I want to ask you, Dr. Sajo, what do you think are the common mental health issues faced by destitute and mentally challenged individuals roaming Akure City?
Thank you for that question. Let me say one of the consequences of mental health challenge is homelessness. But at the same time, we must also know that what we are seeing on the street of Akure, or probably maybe on some of our streets in Ondo State, is a reflection of the fact that there is an alarming increase in the prevalence of mental health issues globally, not only in Ondo State. Like I said, there are so many issues, there are so many things that can put people on the street, and which we call homelessness. And we know that poverty is one of it, drug abuse is one of it, and then mental health issue is one of it. So it's not all people who are mentally ill who will be on the street. But then mental health issue is one of the things that can make people to be roaming about the street or probably to become homeless. And so one of the commonest mental health challenge that usually put people on the street is a psychotic disorder, particularly schizophrenia.
What does it mean?
Yes, schizophrenia is a severe mental health issue, and then it affects several domains of cognitive functions. It can affect people's perception. Let me start with that. And so, what do I mean by perception? We perceive our environment based on our five senses. Our eyes, our hearing, nose, skin, etc. And so people that have mental health issues, they have abnormalities of perception. The way they perceive the environment may be different from the way other people perceive the environment. And also, it's also a disease that is also characterized by disturbance, by abnormality of thought. And what I mean by thought, you and me knows that thought is one of the function, thinking is one of the function of the mind. So we use our mind to think. And so when the mind is disordered, which can be caused by schizophrenia, so the thinking of that particular person may become abnormal. So let me use that to explain the reason why people who have schizophrenia are on the street. If someone asks this belief, like I used to define mental illness, I used to tell people that one of the things that will make you to know that somebody is not mentally fine is when that particular person is not comfortable with other people around him or her. So if someone has schizophrenia, usually they have this abnormal belief. That abnormal belief, we call it delusion. So they may believe that they are not safe. They may believe that other people are against them, people are monitoring them, people are after their life. And so if you believe that people are after your life, you want to leave that environment. You want to try as much as possible to put you to go to a particular place where you think you can be secured. So majority of the people who have mental health issues, who have schizophrenia on the street, some of them may probably be because of the fact that they become so suspicious, they become paranoid. They can no longer trust other people around them, so they can't trust living with their family relations. And so if they can't trust them, the best thing is to leave that environment and probably find a place where they can find peace and security. And the other issue is I talk about abnormalities of perception. If people who have schizophrenia, they usually have what we call auditory hallucination. That auditory hallucination is like they hear voices, and then the voice will give them instruction, specific instruction. The voice may tell them to leave their environment. The voice may tell them that somebody is expecting them somewhere, and whereas there is nothing like that. So in response to those voices.
So you mean somebody could be hearing voices,
yes,
and be reacting to those voices, yes, despite the fact that there was nobody, in the.
Yes, that's one of and that's one of the reasons why many people have mental health issues. People think that it's a spiritual something, because somebody is talking, you are hearing that person, you look around you, and you can't even find the person, and yet they are responding to that particular voice because the voice appears so real, and they have no control over this voice. And so because of the fact that the voice appears so real, just like the way you are hearing me now,
yes,
that's the same way the voice has the same characteristic, and so they obey it. And so they leave that environment, and then they continue to do, in response to that voice, some of them, they leave their environment. And then because they are going to where that particular voice is asking them to go, so sometimes some of them, in trying to obey that particular voice, they will leave their environment, and sometimes they may get lost. And it's not that the voice will stop, the voice will keep on, telling them, speaking, and etc. And then that's about it. You want to ask a question?
Yes, is there a medical term for that voice?
Yes, I said auditory hallucination.
Auditory hallucination.
And that auditory hallucination can also be divided. We could have a complex one, and then we have elementary one.
All right.
But the one that's usually severe is a complex one. It may just be one person that is speaking to that person. It may also be maybe many people.
Multiple persons.
Multiple people. Many people speaking to those voices. In fact, we have so many of our patients who say they hear the voice of God, who ask them to do this and that.
All right.
Then the other issue is also the fact that there is a general decline, deterioration in the function of that particular person. The social interaction is impaired.
Okay.
And so because the occupational function is impaired, and so majority of these people, poverty too, because of the fact that their functioning is impaired, some of them, they may leave their job because they no longer trust people they are working with.
Okay.
So their means of earning, of livelihood,
will
of
drop.
earning money, they've stopped it, and so they may become poor. So because they don't have money to pay for their house rent and etc., and because people may also see them as being violent, as being dangerous, people may also push them out. We have also seen some cases of people who their relations have spent so much on them, and then they are not getting a commensurable result, at least a good result, despite the fact that they are invested so much. Sometimes their relation may carry them from one place and then go and dump them in
elsewhere.
certain
All right.
And that's why majority of people who are in Ondo State, some of these mad people, some of these vagrant people, majority of them are not even thinking of Ondo State. Some of them may be Hausa, some of them may be
All
Igbo,
right.
and etc.
Thank you very much, sir. Let me go to Mrs. Abiodun, neuropathic doctor who knows so much about herbal and organic health care. Madam, he has spoken, extensively about this thing. We see he used a word. He said mad people. Yorubas will say were or alagono. And when you check these things very well, sometimes we think, okay, it's because maybe somebody is activating something somewhere. Then, the local way, they will say somebody is affecting somebody's destiny and all of that. Is it about destiny, or just like he has said it, it's a condition of the brain and the mind?
Thank you, sir. Nowadays,
you can lean forward a bit so that the mic can. Thank you. Yes, yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Thank you.
Nowadays, naturopathic doctor.
Okay.
We are not as before. Before we see things as maybe spiritual.
That's where I'm going to.
Before we see things as everything is spiritual, but now, before we even attend to a patient, the person needs to do some tests.
Okay.
Like me, I have a clinic. we don't always go to that spiritual aspect alone.
Okay.
Even though they check the spiritual aspect, they will still check the normal health this thing. So I should just talk about the solution.
Okay. Okay.
Naturally, I am a naturopathic doctor.
Okay.
Not a spiritual.
Okay.
So naturally, we naturopathic doctor, we if we want to treat, we go fully to people we want to treat.
Okay.
Like environmental, they do call them wole wole.
Yes.
If we want to treat a patient, we will go inside
to go and check.
We will treat full body, full of them. I don't know if you understand them.
Yeah. We
will check the spiritual, the health wise, their conditions.
Let's even go to this thing. When you walk around town, these people that we are talking about, you see them. When you see them, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? That, oh, this person too is not okay in the head. And when you see them, do you immediately determine that, oh, this person is affected spiritually, or this person, is maybe is as a result of, because somebody who called us earlier said, okay, substance abuse, that some people who drink so much, who smoke, things that they don't have capacity for, gets to trigger, their brain, and sometimes they lose it. How do you identify who is okay and who is not okay when you see people, when you walk around town?
Like me, I don't believe in so much in spiritual distance.
Okay.
If we see them, just go and do test. For the people that know more than us, that they are in medical distance,
okay,
you may put a call across of them that this is what is happening.
Okay.
Do your own first. Let's see from the first what is happening to them, what is their conditions.
Okay.
After that, then we now check naturally what is happening to them. So the solution is that for these people, their family is the number one solution. Their family needs to show them love.
Okay.
If they show them love, if they don't, like what my doctor just said, maybe they've spent so much on them. They just need to leave them in the streets. I have so many people like that.
Really?
Yes. They will just leave them. Maybe they spent a lot. They don't know what to do again. They will just leave them outside. They will just be sleeping outside. Number one thing is that they should show them love.
Okay.
They should maybe if they can rent an apartment to put them maybe inside their house. If they show them love, then therapies. We have many things that we can do.
Okay.
Based on natural medicine,
means.
Not spiritual. I'm not talking about spiritual.
Okay.
Naturally, we have so many things. If their condition is natural, we have so many things that we can do to them. So that is it.
All right. Thank you very much. Of course, in the medical term, we call it auditory. Yes, I hope I got it. Auditory hallucination. Did I get that correct? Auditory. Yes, auditory hallucination. Now, I want to ask you, do you think that is spiritual or medical? When some of your clients, for instance, you have your client come to you and tell you they hear voices, they've used the medical, aspect, and there are no positive results coming through for them, and they come to you and say, okay, let's try the natural remedy to see if this is actually what we can go spiritual about. I'm just asking you as a person, do you think that this is spiritual, having person hear voices, hear voices talk to them? Some person says God will ask them to leave where they are living, to go stay on, probably refuse dome and all that. What's your take on it? Do you see this? Do you see spirituality involved in all of those things? Or everything is just sometimes, or 90% of it is medical, or 100% of it all the time is medical?
We have some people that is natural, that is spiritual. And we have some people that based on health challenge.
How do you identify that this is natural, this is spiritual, this is medical?
They will go for tests.
Okay.
When they go for tests and we see the results, if they don't have any problem, then we now go to spiritual aspects.
How about those who have gone through the medical aspect? They've also gone through the natural remedy,
and they're still not okay.
They are still not okay.
There is solution to it.
Oh.
Okay.
How many cases have you treated and you've had solutions to? Because Nigerians are listening.
Now I have like 3. Though I'm not the one treating them directly.
Okay.
I came from Akure.
Okay.
We have some of them that is their own
specialization.
Yes, area of specialization, and they treat them and they are okay.
Okay, so you refer people sometimes when you identify people that are not okay, and maybe their families have spent money. There's another question I wanted to ask you. If you land on that one, is it hereditary?
Yes, it's hereditary.
Seriously?
Yes.
People not being okay in their head, being hereditary?
Yes, sir.
Do we have kids?
Okay, for instance,
yes,
there are some persons who maybe they may, just like you said, hereditary, let's say like their grandparents, had it, and then in maybe the generation before us or generation after us, God forbid, have such a thing. Are you saying that it is because somebody in their lineage had it, that's why they're having, or because of their life, the kind of things, substances they take inside of their body, or the kind of lifestyle they are used to?
Some ladies. I have one lady that work with me.
Yes.
She has this issue.
Okay.
And she inherited it from her mother.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. That's why I said it's hereditary.
Wow. Okay, now for instance, those who don't have it, those who are not, who don't have it in their family history, that they are not hereditary to it, and because of their lifestyle, using of abuse of drugs and all that, they now have it. Are you now saying that generation coming after them, or for instance, you now can pick it up?
That one is something that leads to it.
Okay. The ones natural are spiritual.
Yes.
Hereditary, they are spiritual. So the one
they are spiritual. I don't know, maybe.
Okay,
Dr. Sajo, what do you have to make of all of this? And I also, while you are answering that question, I want you to have it in mind that you tell us what kind of support systems or interventions would be effective in helping these individuals.
The last speaker, let me appreciate her for the effort that they are also making from their own hand.
The alternative medicine.
Yes, to also provide care for people who have mental health issues. Mental illness, let me say, is just like physical illness. I'm sorry, I may probably have to break. Human being, we are divided into two. The Bible calls it tripartite. We have the body, the soul, and the mind. We relate, the body is the physical one, is the physical part of human being that you can see. And then we have the invisible part, which is the mind, which is the soul. And then when we are talking about the soul comprises of the mind, our personality, our will, our mood. You get it now? And then the other part is the spiritual aspect, which is the part that relates, the innermost part that relates with God. So when you look at people that have mental health issue, like I said, it's a medical condition. Just like the way the physical health is a medical condition. But one thing that we must know, in those days when we were in the university, that's what we call there are some diseases that when you try, you investigate, you do a lot of things, and yet you may not find the cause. It's more common with mental health issues. Like I said the mind. Nobody can see the mind. So mental health issue is, and that's why when we define health, we say health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social. So what I'm saying in essence is mental health issues is a functions of social problems, biological problems, and psychological problems. And so that's why we call it biopsychosocial.
Okay.
So in terms of biopsychosocial, so you look at the biological aspect. The biological aspect are those genetics. Things that
family line
genetics.
Things.
Those are the physical things, biological things that have happened, to that particular person, that happen to that particular person, that is making that particular person to come down with mental health issues. And so that is the basis for using medication. So we talk about genetics, we talk about even physical condition. Sometimes it could affect the functioning of the brain. For instance, someone who has a stroke, who has HIV, who has diabetes, that diabetes may also affect the brain, and then the person may come down with mental health issues. And so there is usually people that have mental health issues, they have abnormality of brain chemistry. What I mean by brain chemistry, just like you as a woman, there are some hormones that are responsible for your reproductive function as a woman. The same thing, there are some chemicals in the brain. We call them neurotransmitters. The brain, transfer informations, communicate with other parts of the body with these chemicals. And so these chemicals, we have dopamine, we have norepinephrine, serotonin, acetylcholine, etc. And so the abnormality of the level of these chemicals in the body, studies have shown that they are responsible for mental health issues. For people that have schizophrenia, the level of those things is high. That's psychosis. People that have depression, the level of those things is down. In fact, people that have dementia, it's still the same thing. So the treatment of people who have mental health issues is on that basis that this thing is biological. You cannot talking about genetics, you can't pinpoint a particular gene, unlike people who have sickle cell disease. You can say sickle cell disease as a result of the abnormality of this particular gene. People who have Down syndrome, you can say it's the abnormality of a particular gene. But for people that have mental health issue, you cannot pinpoint a particular gene that is responsible. So how do you go about it? How do you know that genetics is responsible? You look at the prevalence of mental health issue in the family of the person who has it, then you compare with the general population. Usually, studies have shown that if genetics contributes, the prevalence of mental health issue in the family of that particular person will be more than the general population. For instance, now, if my both parents have mental health issue, my risk of having it is between 40 to 42%.
That's much.
That's much. So we have seen in a family, I have a lot of patients now that they have 3 children who have schizophrenia, 4 children who
have?
Yes, who have schizophrenia. So genetics plays a significant role. All other factors interact with this genetics, which we call predisposition, genetic predisposition. So in mental health issue, we have, like I've said, so the biology, I still continue with the biology. Even poor antenatal health behavior, maternal antenatal health behavior. When a child is pregnant, the development of the brain actually starts from the womb, from the time that child is formed in the womb. So if that particular child is exposed to a lot of adverse conditions, trauma, and poor diet, the mother has diabetes, the mother has a particular medical condition that compromise the nutrition, the oxygen supply, the etc., the blood supply to the brain of that child and etc., all these things can affect the development of the brain. And so this acts as a predisposition. Even what we call obstetric complication. And that's why, directly or indirectly, when a government is investing on child maternal health, directly or indirectly, they are preventing a future occurrence of
those
mental
things.
health issues. So mental health issues is not went until the person has a mental health issue. Sometimes the person at the predisposition, the foundation might have been there for a very long time. So having said that, substance abuse, early childhood, early adverse conditions, stressful life event, early stressful life event in the adult. So we have social issues, we have psychological, the personality of the person, the coping capacity of the person, the social network of that particular person. All these things interact.
Because some people lack a lot of things, and because of that, they feel dejected and they begin to misbehave.
And so that's why, I'm sorry. So that's why mental health is not static, it's dynamic. It's not fixed, it changes. And what I mean by changes is somebody may be healthy today, maybe mentally healthy today, and tomorrow the person may come down with mental health issues, depending on so many things, the coping capacity and etc. So for people who have for people who are providing care from the alternative, from the traditional aspect or from the alternative, medicine, there are so many roles they can also play. Particularly, like I said, even when we treat people in the hospital, we call it biopsychosocial. It's multidisciplinary collaborations. We give medications. We have clinical psychologists. You get what I'm saying? We also have social workers. We also have occupational therapists. So it's like, the treatment is holistic. We look at it. We look at
different factors.
Yes, different factors.
Okay.
The biological, the social, and then So I'm sorry.
Yes. No. I want to ask you a question.
Yes,
Just before we move on to our travel expert here.
But I hope I've addressed your questions.
Most definitely. Yes. Just before we let you be, before we go on to, you mentioned children the other time having schizophrenia.
Yes.
So how do we detect schizophrenia in a child? From the early stage? Because I was surprised when you said children has it. It means that there are some children or probably adults of these days who have it now, who never did they had it when they were children. So what are the symptoms of a child who has schizophrenia?
Well, the other guest speaker, when she was speaking, she said they do tests and etc. I want to.
Do you have to do tests?
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Okay.
I want to talk about it, but it just escaped my mind.
Okay.
This particular question has reminded me. Sometimes, for people who have mental health issues, like I said, it's a disease of the mind. Sometimes you may do a lot of biological investigations, you may not get anything. And so the investigation is not just biological. You may do blood tests, everything may come out to be normal. You may even do X-ray, you may do scan, everything will come out to be normal. So we do psychological investigation, we do social investigation. And so one of the things is more of clinical than the laboratory. It will depend more on clinical presentations than laboratory investigations. And so a children who have schizophrenia, yes, I've picked people, I have patients, I've treated a patient who has schizophrenia at the age of 7 years, 6 years, etc. And then there are conditions that we call in neurodevelopmental disorder. Neurodevelopmental disorders are those disorders that we started picking as early as even 3 years of age. People have autism, people have we call hyperkinetic disorders, ADHD, So all these things depending on the clinical features, just like when someone has malaria, the person complains of fever. The person complains of body pain, weakness, temperature, etc. And when somebody also has hypertension, the BP of that particular person may be high, the person may also have headache. So you look at their physical manifestations. Their behavior will be, there is a behavior that is acceptable to the society. There is an acceptable behavior pattern based on our social norms. And so there is a behavior that is typical of a person. For instance, now if at my age, if I started exhibiting some behavior, you look at my age, say, this behavior is
out of it.
This behavior is not typical of me. So there is a behavior. Yes, we know that children normally they are restless. They are hyperactive. They have some disinhibition and etc. But when those things are in excess of what is expected of their age, you can say this particular child has this. Normally, children talk to themselves. And people who have schizophrenia also talk to themselves. But you look at it, this particular talking to self
is it the regular one?
Because even normal human beings who do not have schizophrenia talk to themselves.
Yes, occasionally, like when we pray and etc.
Exactly. So or you meditate.
Yes, you look at that behavior. If that behavior, is it abnormal? Is it odd? Is it inappropriate? So if the behavior is inappropriate, for
then
instance,
you begin to pick.
You begin to pick, yes.
Okay.
All right.
I have a question, Halim.
Okay.
for our
please go first.
expert, yes, let me go first. In all of this, we have said what individuals are doing, hospitals are doing, parents are doing to help cushion this effect. But I just want to ask you, what role should government agencies? You are bringing them all down to the local area now, the natural path, to give us remedy of the mental issues. What role do you think the government should play, or governmental agencies and community organizations should play in addressing the needs of destitute and mentally challenged individuals?
If the government can try out a clinic.
Can you please move closer to the microphone? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes,
good.
Thank you.
If the government can try out a clinic as normal clinics to those people that would think they are still better than them, they should just have a clinic that they will be admitting them. And if they can do the one of naturopaths, the alternative medicine are really working on them very well.
Than
orthodox medicine.
Okay.
Yes.
I wanted you to nail that yourself. Okay, go ahead.
So if they can give us a chance,
okay,
to let us work on them, because we alternative medicine, they just see us as they are just
there.
So they should just give us the opportunity to try and work, and they should see.
Okay.
And many of them, they know that we can do it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Mrs.
Okay, you want to say something. Why you want to say something? I also want you to add this. You want to say, I want you to also add this. How many psychiatric hospital, government hospital, do we have in Ondo State?
Well,
are they functional?
Like I said the other time, we, as doctors, we are not in competition with anybody.
Yes.
But the government will do well if all other people also have alternative, approach to health issues. If the government can also give them some training, they have some knowledge, they have some skill that the orthodox may also not have. So I think that
there must be collaboration,
training, and less secretariat.
Okay,
we have the solution.
Okay.
Now,
okay.
Look at me, but then when you look at me the other time, when you listen to me very well,
okay,
I have tried to provide the what we call the psychopathology, the basics, the mechanisms of development of these disorders, and I've explained to you how those disorders, how they occur, how they evolve, and then the reason why we make use of the medications and some of the care that we provide. And then you remember how I said it's multidisciplinary approach, because there are so many, it's a combination of both biological, social, and then
you said it's a disease of the mind.
A disease of the mind, biological, social, and then psychological.
All right, because of our time,
government has a lot of hospitals, and I can boldly tell you, I give testimony on daily basis.
How many psychiatrists hospitals do we
he
have?
has been asked. He was going to answer that because I did ask you that question.
We have a new psychiatric specialist hospital.
How many?
One. Mention them. Mention them. You are a CMD.
In Ondo State.
You are a CMD. Yes. And Nigerians are listening.
We have one.
Yes.
FMCO has one.
Okay.
And then Unimed also has one.
3.
Yes.
In the whole of Ondo State.
That is not much. That cannot cater for,
We know.
Okay. Sir, because of our time, let me quickly go to Mrs. Abiodun to attest to the fact that, alternative medicine has provided a lot of advantage, for people with mental issues. We see it in China. We see it in India. Sometimes their approach is almost, fully local to these issues. For example, the Chinese have developed, different kind of medicine to take care of people that are mentally, not stable. In Ghana, right? So now, your organization or your agency and you said earlier that maybe the government should give you, the chance and all of that. What are you? Are you looking forward to working with, like the doctor that we have beside you, those in charge of, that in the orthodox way? Are you, thinking about working together? Because see, if we have you and we have him, the society would expect that both of you, the kind of organization that you belong to, can work together just for us to have solutions, rather than practice separately, because they are practicing what they know, you are practicing what you know, and how do you work together? Are there plans to really work together? Because if you ask people at home, they will tell you that it is the locals or the alternative medicine that solves most of these problems, rather than those you go to. They speak so many English and BB grammar, and at the end of the day, the people come back home.
You are saying they are theoretical, you are more practical.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that, Dr. Sajo?
I will never agree with that.
Oh, okay.
Because you see,
you said it's a disease of the mind, though.
Way to care. We have seen people whose lives has been destroyed because of the fact that they go to wrong places, traditional healers and secretariat. We have seen people that we have to go to churches and evacuate from churches, and then these people we have treated them and they are well. You get what I'm saying?
Do people go to churches for mental issues?
Mental health issues. Of course, there are so many. There are so many spiritual homes who provide services. And the reason why our people is because of the fact that it's because of ignorance, because people don't really
religious culture.
People don't really understand mental health issues.
All right.
Our understanding of mental health issues is very, very low. And so, like I explained the other time, majority of the symptoms appear more spiritual. They are not something that you can easily explain.
Okay.
And so people tend to believe that this thing is spiritual.
That somebody is doing somebody somewhere.
Yes, even in development of mental health issue, most of the early theories, that's what we call animisms.
Okay.
Idea of animism, when people believe that mental health issue is caused by demon, is caused by anger against God, you do forbidden things and etc. You get it now. But there have been a lot of advancement, evolution from that. You get what I'm saying? And so mental health practice actually evolved from the traditional.
I was going to ask you this before you go. Both. How can we pick these people from the street?
Very, very important questions.
Because it's an eyesore now in Akure and other places.
It has been a source of concern to the psychiatrist, to the government, and then to the Ministry of Social Development and Women Affairs.
Okay.
We have discussed it over and over, and then I'm sure that in the last budget that the government did, there was some allocations, there was some fund for that. Because as a psychiatrist, it's not my responsibility to go to the street and be picking people.
Them, okay.
But we have a department, a ministry that is saddled with that responsibility. That is Ministry of Social Development and Women Affairs.
All right.
So, and from time to time, they do that.
Okay.
It's just that the government still need to work more on that, and then probably to formulate a policy that will ensure that from time to time, these people are regularly evacuated from the street and then take to where they can be treated. But there comes a problem. The problem is, where do we take them to? Do we have enough facilities to accommodate them?
Please, I want you to answer that.
Yes, we do have enough facility. The answer is no. We don't have enough facility. Like I said the other time, the Federal Medical Center probably they have a capacity of like maybe less than 20 patients that they can admit. In our home place, we have less than
100.
Which 100? We are not even up to 50. We have tried as much as possible to congest and expand, trying to force people, because when pressures are too much on the facility, like this morning, between yesterday and today, several people have called me and then they have told me they have patients, they want to. I have told them we don't have space, we have best space.
All right.
So this particular place is due for expansion.
All right.
And when you pick people and you don't have a place to treat them, so it's like so. I think the high prevalence of mental health issues is high time
we address it.
They address the attention
of
the government.
All right, madam, we wanted to say something.
I said those people that they are even treated, they are not the one on streets.
Okay.
Sure, you understand.
Okay.
They should focus on those people that they are on streets.
On the street, okay, and pick them first. But you don't have arrangement to pick people on the street, except you wait for family members who bring the all right. Thank you very much for speaking to us this morning, Dr. Sunday Sajo and Mrs. Mary Abiodun. They are mental health specialists, both the orthodox and the other person too on the alternative medicine. We hope that God will continue to guide you, because we didn't even talk about your own safety. Sometimes when you are attending to people like that, doctor, or are they always gentle, doctor?
Well, I'm a trained psychiatrist.
So you know how to go about it.
We know how to handle
All right. Let's hope that you will continue to do your job safely, and
God have been protecting us.
you see, he's coming the God factor. That okay, that's acceptable. That's not a problem. We hope that very soon that because you've equally complained about things that you expect the government to do, and let's hope that
for expansion. What I'm saying is, number one, the population has exploded.
Okay.
Some years ago, we were maybe 4 million, but you can see the population of Ondo State.
So you have more mad people too.
No, you see, there are so many factors. The economic insecurity.
You've discussed that.
And etc. Population is increasing, and so if population is increasing, there is a need for the infrastructure
to increase as well. All right, thank you.
If infrastructure is not increased, there will be congestion.
Right.
And when there is congestion, the effect of that congestion we damage, or we probably reduce the quality of care that will be available.
All right. Thank you very much for coming on the program today. Some other time that we have related issues, we would definitely make sure that you are part of our experience. We hope that God continue to protect you, and also while you are delivering your job and duty, you get results, so that we can have less people that are roaming the street, who are destitute and also who are mentally not balanced. Thank you very much for coming. Comfort.
All right, that's how much we can take on today's edition of the program. It is important to let you know that we'll be having an official of the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development talk to the public on the program. This particular topic of discourse, mental challenge, to let us know what the government is doing about the menace. And of course, Dr. Sajo did say that we just have 3 psychiatric hospitals in the whole of Ondo State, and they are not enough to accommodate this person's roaming on Akure Street. I'd like to say a very big thank you to our listener. Once again, thank you very much, Dr. Sajo, for coming on the program this morning.
Thank you.
All right, thank you to Mrs. Abiodun for coming on the program this morning.
Thanks, Mayor.
All right, so to you, our esteemed listener, we sincerely apologize that we do not have enough time to take the calls. Our time is fast spent. A very big thank you to our executive producer, Dr. Ezekiel Akonde, and to our producer, Akinwumi Abodude. Many thanks to the entire production crew for putting all hands on deck. My name is Comfort Omolafe. Until tomorrow, keep listening to Glow FM.
My name is Mike Alim or Bafemi. Many thanks for being part of World of Sound today. Bye for now.